Welcome to ML's English Podcast, the show where English learning meets mindset growth. Whether you're here to boost your vocabulary, speak with confidence, or build a strong, unstoppable mindset, you're in the perfect place. Get ready for powerful tips, real conversations, and high energy that will move you forward. This is more than just a podcast. This is your new routine for success. So let's talk about something I think, pretty much everyone experiences.
Yeah.
Those nights, right? When you're lying there, it's quiet. But inside your head, it's just chaos. You're replaying maybe something awkward you said or worrying about tomorrow, and your brain just won't shut up.
Oh, absolutely. It's incredibly common. It's kind of like your brain turns into this nonstop Spotify playlist that you just cannot turn off.
Right.
And worse, it feels like the free version,
Right.
with all the ads, except the ads are playing, like the absolute worst tracks, mistakes you made, fears you have, that kind of thing.
Yeah, those worst tracks, like the you're not good enough track. Or maybe for someone learning English, your English needs so much work, track playing on repeat.
Exactly.
You hear about people like, let's call him Thomas, who thinks, oh, I'm just not a language person. And then maybe he sees someone else picking it up faster, and that just, boom, confirms his track.
That's a perfect example. It's like having, 50 browser tabs open in your head all at once, just pure mental clutter.
50 tabs, yeah, I can picture that.
You've got the unread messages tab making you feel guilty, maybe the cringe memories from 5 years ago tab.
Oh, that one.
Right. And definitely the am I actually good enough tab that's just always lurking there. It's exhausting. And sometimes just one tiny thing can happen during the day and suddenly all those tabs just pop right open.
This really makes you wonder, doesn't it? We often think it's what happens to us, like the external events, that control how we feel or what we do.
Right.
But if that's true, why can we feel totally peaceful in a crazy situation sometimes, or completely stressed out when everything around us is calm? What's really driving the ship?
That's the core question, isn't it? And the big insight, really, from both ancient wisdom like Stoicism and modern psychology is, well, it's our thoughts. It's our thoughts about the events, not the events themselves, that primarily drive our emotions and actions.
Okay, say more about that.
Well, think about it. You could be in the most beautiful, peaceful place on earth, but if your mind is a mess, replaying anxieties, you won't feel peaceful at all.
True.
But conversely, you could be in the middle of a noisy, wild crowd, but if your mind is calm and focused, you can actually feel quite relaxed. Your internal state dictates the experience.
So it really comes down to that idea. We become what we think about.
Precisely.
Going back to Thomas's, it's not necessarily that he is bad at English intrinsically. It's that the thought, I'm bad at English, gets repeated so often that he starts acting like it. Maybe he avoids practice, doesn't speak up, which then, of course, makes the thought seem true. It's a cycle.
It's a classic negative feedback loop. And breaking that loop is really what this is all about. There's this great quote from Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic emperor, He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength."
Power over your mind, not outside events. Okay.
It's about focusing your energy where you actually have control. Like you can't stop it from raining, right?
Right, obviously.
But you absolutely can decide if the rain ruins your mood or if you just grab an umbrella and carry on. You control your reaction, your internal state.
That makes sense intellectually. But the tricky part is these thoughts often feel automatic, like they just pop in there.
Yeah.
How do you actually control something that feels like it's happening to you? It's not like flipping a switch, is it?
No, definitely not a switch. And that's really important. It's not a quick fix. It takes time. It starts really with just noticing, becoming aware of those automatic thought patterns when they show up.
Just noticing, not fighting them.
Not initially, no. Just observing them, almost like, there's that thought again. And then, slowly, with practice, you start learning to guide them, to gently steer your focus somewhere more constructive. It's a skill you build.
Okay, so awareness first. But what about the environment? You said the mind is key. But earlier we talked about how, our surroundings matter too, like those 50 browser tabs opening. Isn't that a bit of a contradiction?
That's a great point, but it's not really a contradiction. It's more about making smart choices about your environment to help your mind out.
How so?
Okay, think about trying to write something important like an essay. If you're at home, maybe your bed looks comfy, Netflix is calling. It's hard to focus, right?
Oh, yeah. Definitely been there. Feels like a battle.
Exactly. So what do? Often, you choose to go somewhere else. A coffee shop, a library, places designed for focus. That's not a lack of willpower because you couldn't focus at home. That's you taking control by choosing an environment that supports the mental state you want. You're being strategic.
Huh. I never thought of it that way.
Mm.
I always felt like I should be able to focus anywhere, and needing to go somewhere else was kind of a weakness.
Not at all. It's about setting yourself up for success.
Yeah.
It's proactive.
Okay, that's helpful. So besides managing the environment, what's another strategy? Another way to gain control?
Asking better questions. This is huge.
Better questions.
Yeah. Think back to struggling to focus at home. What's the typical question you might ask yourself? Probably something like, what's wrong with me? Why am I so freaking lazy? Right.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
But that question assumes you're broken. It's self-attacking. What if instead you asked, okay, what does my mind need right now to be able to focus better?
That feels different. Kinder, almost.
Exactly. It's kinder and it's solution-focused. It shifts you from fighting against your mind to working with it. You're trying to understand what it needs, not just criticize it.
But sometimes my thoughts aren't even necessarily negative. They're just everywhere, like a noisy office in my head. How do you deal with that kind of mental scatter?
Yeah, that happens too. There's a good analogy for that. Think of your mind like water. You can't really stop water from flowing, can you?
No, not really.
But you can guide it. You can build channels, direct the current. It's similar with thoughts. You can't just hit stop, but you can learn to gently guide the flow of your attention. And remember, where your thoughts flow, your actions tend to follow. And your actions, well, they shape your life.
Okay, guiding the flow. Can you give an example, maybe related to something like discipline? I'll admit that's one I struggle with sometimes.
Sure, a lot of people feel that way because we often think discipline means forcing yourself to do things you hate.
Yeah, pretty much.
But maybe think about it differently. True discipline isn't really about brute force. It's more like when your thoughts and your actions are working together, they're in harmony. Like,
Yeah.
take exercise. Instead of thinking, ugh, I hate this is going to suck. What if you thought, okay, this is how I choose to take care of myself today? See how that changes the feeling. The action's the same, but the thought behind it makes it feel less like a punishment and more like a positive choice. It's not forced anymore.
But my first reaction is still often, yeah, but I'm just not a disciplined person. That thought just pops up.
Right, and that's where the self-talk comes in again. Discipline isn't some fixed trait you either have or don't have. It's built, moment by the stories you tell yourself. Confidence starts there, too. If you make a mistake, for example, telling yourself, okay, oops, mistake, what can I learn here, is vastly different from, oh, I'm so stupid. Same event, totally different experience based on the thought.
So it really circles back to making your mind like a team player, instead of this inner critic or scattered mess.
Exactly. When your mind becomes your ally, when your internal dialogue starts supporting you instead of tearing you down, that's when things really shift. That's where real control and strength come from. So let's make this really practical. How can you start applying this? Okay, if you're learning English, instead of that automatic, ugh, I'll never be fluent, maybe try catching it and thinking, okay, I'm getting better with each practice session.
Small shift.
Small shift, big difference over time. Or for working out, instead of, this is going to feel awful, try, this is how I'm showing up for my body today.
Okay.
Even cooking. Instead of, I'm such a terrible cook, maybe every meal I make is just a chance to learn something new in the kitchen. It reframes it as growth.
I like that. Reframing it as learning.
And think of it like this. Here's a powerful metaphor. Your mind is like a garden. You can't instantly rip out all the weeds, maybe, but you can start planting small seeds of better thoughts. Water them every day with a little attention, and eventually things start to grow.
That's a nice image.
Yeah.
So back to that mental playlist idea.
Yeah.
You don't have to like delete the whole thing overnight.
Here we go.
You just start intentionally adding a few better songs to the mix.
Precisely. And here's a super practical first step you can take literally tomorrow. When one of those automatic negative thoughts pops up, I'm terrible at English, I can't do this, whatever yours is, just notice it. Don't fight it. Don't believe it necessarily. Just see it. And maybe think to yourself, okay, that's just my mind being dramatic again, or there's that old thought pattern.
Just observing it, detaching a bit.
Exactly. That moment of realization that you are not your thoughts, but the one observing your thoughts that changes everything. That's a huge first step.
That really is powerful, just realizing you're the observer, not the thought itself. It gives you space.
It gives you space and it gives you choice.
So I guess a final thought could be, while our thoughts are incredibly powerful, maybe we are even more powerful than our thoughts. It just takes practice and patience to realize it.
Well said. Patience is key.
That's a wrap for today's episode on MLS English Podcast. If you enjoyed it, make sure to subscribe, leave us a review, and share this episode with someone who's serious about growing in English and in life. Keep practicing, keep pushing, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's grow together.